I'm Zim. This is Carnival, a kind of Lovecraftian point and click that takes place, I believe, in Venice. I think. There's a lot of water. Alright, let's start. Their little weird hand symbol. Oh! The water was brackish, cold as the grave. There was nothing in the distance, no visual marker to give me any idea of the scale of the gentle waves that surrounded me. What will you eat? Who's there? What will you eat? Show yourself. I do believe I'm a guy, but you know what? He's gonna have my voice. What will you eat? Popcorn? The dream was gone as quickly as it had come. The lagoon slid past, its swirling waters no doubt influencing my sleep. It is Venice. My destination, Venice, lay ahead. The lights of the city twinkled like pearl, a tiara nestled over black velvet. It was a strange and unique city, as everyone knew, but laid out as it was against the oppressive clouds, it reminded me less of a metropolis and more of a gargantuan creature surfacing from the depths, casting about itself with a multitude of tiny, glittering eyes. Charlotte's letter still lay on my lap. I do not wish to hurt you, but I must look to the future rather than the past. The world is changing, and the spirit of it has embraced me. No more. No more today. February 13th, 1933. The platform was relatively quiet. It would have no doubt been different if the famous Venetian Carnival hadn't been banned by Mussolini when he had consolidated power. It traditionally started in February, ending on Shrove Tuesday. The fuck is Shrove Tuesday? No, sometime in February, I guess. Even though the tradition had already been dealt a blow when the Austrian king outlawed the celebration and masks in 1797, it had still been there, below the surface, bubbling up within the 19th century in private engagements and artistic communes, and had apparently been a fascinating glimpse into the Middle Ages and Baroque Renaissance. Now, Venetian masks were simply decoration, a historical curiosity. There were still celebrations of a sort within Italy, but they had a sour edge to them, such as the distinctly anti-Slavic Festa del Tremere, which had become little more than a mishmash of an ancient tradition and current political thinking, all seen through the skewed lens of Mussolini's National Fascist Party. All very interesting, but for me, there was a different story to write. First things first, I needed to call my contact, then I could get to work. Ooh. Alright, top of the screen is for inventory, left is interact, right is examine. Click on the book, options, notebook. My contacts, ooh. When the watch symbol appears, the main goals for the day are completed. There may be optional goals. Ooh. Well, we're going to do the optional goals, obviously. Press and hold F1 to access the tutorial. Okay. Flyer! Yes, I would like to look at it. I picked up the discarded flyer. It was a flyer of Mussolini. On the back was written a quote. God damn it. Rimanere buoni tutta la vita. Gesto dalla misura della vera gradosa di un'anima? In English, remaining good all your life. This is the measure of the true quality of a soul. An interesting quote for a man who ruled through violence and coercive power, although perhaps that was an opinion best kept to myself. Meh. Oh wait, no, I should have right-clicked. Whoops. It had been a very comfortable journey. Hello, gentlemen. They looked deep in conversation. Clearly they were discussing something important. Hello! I called the telephone number for the man I was going to be staying with, given to me by the office in London. There was no answer. I slammed the phone into its receiver and ground my teeth. Perhaps the man had already set off and was simply running late. Or perhaps this contact was another charlatan. At least the fool in Rome had showed up. I decided to exit the station and take in some of the sights while I was waiting. Hello, friend. Excuse me, senor? The station seems quiet today. Senor, you have now cursed it. I'll probably have 100 tours to process on the next express. The man made a cross over his chest. It seemed a very trivial thing to bother God with. Can I leave? If you show me a valid ticket. Why would I travel without a ticket? You would be surprised, senor. A great many are trying to defraud the railways nowadays. Bolsheviks, most likely. They like to think the laws don't apply to them. Good day. And a good day to you, senor. How are you guys doing? Alright, fine. Can I disturb him? Hey, bro. I'm new to the city. Do you have any sightseeing recommendations? You should visit the Piazza San Marco. It is the heart of Venice. But to be honest, the whole city is beautiful. Even I can appreciate it. He spat on the ground and wiped his nose on his sleeve. I tried to hide my disgust. Thank you. I appreciate the advice. Are you on your break? Yes. Is that a crime? No? Have a good day. Thank you. I hope I will. What paper? Oh no. My documents had been stuck together somehow, as if they had got wet. How had this happened? From your weird dream. I needed to pull the paper apart carefully with something sharp. I didn't want any of them to get damaged. Really? Alright. Ahem. Hungry worker. May I borrow your knife? May I borrow your knife? As long as you take the blade to the station master. I can't stand his attitude. I can't. Relax, senor. I'm joking. I'll stab it myself later. Thanks, bud. I took the knife carefully. Have a good day. Thank you. I hope I will. Alright, so we want to use that on that. I teased the papers apart, and thankfully they were undamaged. Alright. Here you go, buddy. I had no further need of the knife, so I gave it back to its owner. You're welcome, friend. Thank you, senor. Enjoy Venice. Alright, what do we have now? The last letter, my list of contacts, and my train ticket. Who are my contacts? Arduino Notaro, Don Vincenzo Conti, Enzo Rossi, Dante Dessina, fascist dilettante. I don't want to talk to that. The last letter I ever received from Charlotte. My dearest James, it is with the deepest pain that I must end our engagement. I do not wish to hurt you, but I must look to the future rather than the past. The world is changing, and the spirit of it has embraced me. I longed for you to seize the day, to embrace adventure. When did we ever travel away from the familiarity of London? Would it have been so hard to see more of the world? You always spoke of your love of Italy, and yet you have never offered to take me. I never met the man who made his own way in Florence, or who managed to flee the abusive household that had held him since childhood. I truly hope you can find yourself again, but it cannot be with me. Please be kind to yourself. All my love, Charlotte. Aw, got broke up with over a letter? Sorry, buddy. Here is my ticket. Very good, sir. Please enjoy your time in Venice. Thank you. I will. Probably not. This is a horror game. Ooh. Safe to see a station. Exit to city. Well, we're gonna exit to city. Look at the little boats. It was the remains of a torn poster proclaiming, "Remember the Biennio Rosso." This was reference to the Red Biennium, a 2-year period of labor militancy in 1919 to 20 in Italy, when workers buoyed by communist ideals took part in strikes, rural uprisings, and factory occupations. Good for them. Oh, no, I wanted to look at the flowers. The shop window was filled with interesting masks in many different colors. There appeared to be some standardization in the different styles, rather than them all being individual. It would be interesting to look into the reasons behind this. Interesting. The mannequin was huge, around 6.5 feet tall. The mask was imposing. The eyes were inky caverns. Was the mannequin covered in black cloth? Signor? Signor Maynard? The man spoke to me in English. His voice was a cracked baritone. His face glowed in the light from the shop front. I don't know if I can do a baritone. A good journey? Indeed, although the train arrived late. 10 minutes. Is that so? I expect it was only you that noticed. I would hope not. You must be Signor Notaro. It's a pleasure to meet you. Likewise, Signor. Please call me Arduino. Come, my house is not far. You don't even have to cross the Grand Canal. Well, I say my house as if I am the owner, but there are others there. It is an apartment, you know. An apartamento, you know. He seemed to possess a nervous energy that stood on the edge between excitement and panic. This mask is curious. Very distinctive. Ah, yes, the Bauta. The oldest of the Venetian masks. From last century? Ha! Try the 13th century, Signor Maynard. The Bauta proper is actually the hood. The mask itself is simply called the face. Fascinating. Come, there will be time enough to browse the mask shops tomorrow. Let's head back before it gets dark. This fog really carries a chill. It is February. What do you expect, my friend? Come, we will soon warm you up with some Venetian hospitality. Maybe I can pour you a spritz as we sit near the fire. Perhaps. I must admit I am exhausted. I may have an early night. Your choice, of course. The streets seem quiet. Yes, but the edges are always quieter. The heart beats loudest in the center, yes? I suppose. It is strange not to hear any cars. There is only the rail bridge, Signor Maynard. The bridge and the boats. The gondole, you know. It allows us to hear the waters. I must admit it makes a welcome change to London. Venice is its own beast, Signor Maynard. You will not find anywhere quite like it in the world. Alright, let's go. Excellent. Onwards. And outwards, men. It is here. The red door, Signor Maynard. Alright. The 4-story set of apartments was precariously leaning to the right to the extent that it was almost touching the next building. And your apartment is on the ground floor, Mr. Maynard. No need to worry. In any case, the leaning of the building is not so noticeable inside, I assure you. The magic of Venice. My head swam as I looked up at the teetering building. Arduino looked me in the eyes. I think you need a rest, my friend. Yes, yes. The room was the room was warm enough, well insulated from the cold. I felt my eyes drifting again, the eyelids closing ever slower. I needed to rest. Metal dustpan. Yoink. I picked up the metal dustpan. Yes, you did. A vase, painting, suitcase, my coat, a candle. Well, what's this painting of? It was a painting of a nobleman, though I couldn't place the likeness. It was a landscape painting of an island, most probably a local landmark. A plain, functional dresser. Alright, well, let's go to bed, I guess. I needed to rest, but only for a moment. The chair would be better. Fine. Perhaps all I needed was a sit-down. Maybe that. Oh shit. You passed right the fuck out. I awoke in an unfamiliar room. Now we're gonna have a drink. This didn't alarm me. My condition often led to a difficulty with short-term memory after a moment. I just needed to orient myself. I found a note in my pocket. Yes, I think I was headed to Venice. There was a story. Who was I here to meet? I couldn't see in the gloom. I needed some light. Candle. I needed something to light it with. Matches? The drawer was slightly ajar. The drawer was filled with knickknacks and also a small matchbook. Urgh. I decided to take the matches. They could be useful. Yes, to light the candle. With the candle lit, I could now see the note in my pocket. A game would help. It always did. The mental exercise would drag my memories back into focus. The name was Italian, but what was the name's origin? Primary contact in Venice. Ooh. Oh gosh, what was his name? Anduino. I don't know. Rope? Not Anduino, Arduino. Arduino Notaro. What's the name mean in Italian? Well, Notaro feels like it should be a notary. Arduino Notaro. What did it mean? Nautical? Nope. Oh, I was right. Okay. Yes, of course. Notary and notaro were both from a classic Latin root, notarius, from nota, meaning mark or sign. I felt my memories seeping back. Yes, I had met Arduino. This was his house, a quaint apartmento, on the outer edges of Venice. I would have a busy day tomorrow. I needed to get some sleep. It seemed that was all I did recently. Oh, it's Valentine's Day, 1933. Look at me without a girlfriend. A good sleep? Yes, as good as can be expected. I'm sorry, your meaning? Was the bed not good? Oh, the bed was quite comfortable. I have a condition, narcolepsy. I'm sorry, I do not know this. A sleeping condition. You may find I drift off when we're talking from time to time. Drift? Like water? No, I may lose concentration. Please just say my name, and I should come back. As you wish. You can speak in Italian if you wish. I can understand most words. Nonsense. I welcome a chance to speak English again. It's good to stretch the mind. You like cream in the coffee? I'm sorry, I couldn't get any English tea. No cream, thank you. To tell you the truth, I've never been a fan of tea. We can no longer be friends. It was a white lie, but okay. But I was hoping that I could find a way to relax the man. His hand had shook as he had poured the coffee, and the smile he was wearing seemed more of a rictus than actual contentedness. Quite a selection of food. Is this a normal Venetian fare? I found myself arranging the cutlery into lines as I did at home. I slid my hand back onto my leg to try and halt the action. It had always infuriated Charlotte, along with many of my other habits, plucking wayward hairs and eyelashes, checking the time at regular intervals, fastidious neatness, and the criticism of her that came with it. She had tolerated it all, to an extent, but nothing lasted forever. Probably more extravagant than most, but food is my passion. I like to try new things, change my routine. Some of these meats are important, salted in Bavaria. We have a man. There is a man who lives on the top floor. A retired military man from the, Schwarzwald. The Black Forest, yes. It looks excellent. Won't you try some? I'm never especially hungry in the morning. I see. He sighed, looking into the middle distance for a moment before taking a deep breath and turning his attention back to me. So let us talk about Venice. You're here because of the new road, see? I must say, it will be hard to spend a lot of time with the people over the next few days. It is a busy time. I explained as much to the man, Signor Dawson. He insisted, though, so here you are. Here I am. I lifted my coffee cup in salute. Arduino didn't return the gesture, instead looking me in the eye. You don't have to stay, you know. Part of a smile still lingered, though it was visibly cracking. I hope this is not an inconvenience. No, of course not. You're welcome for as long as you wish to remain. Excellent. I was wondering if I could start my story with interviewing you. Shall we get the ball rolling? Ball? Sorry, it's a British saying. It simply means getting started. Ah, I have not heard of this. Of course, my friend, ask your questions. Very well. Have you lived in Venice all of your life? From first breath, Signor Maynard. You won't find a more devoted Venetian in the city. I see. And has the city changed much in your time here? Changed? In what way? Well, the most obvious example would be the regime change. Mussolini is, in some people's eyes, quite the forward thinker. Others call him a despot. Surely the change in government has been felt here. Venice will always be Venice. I cannot speak for the rest of Italy, but there are certain things about Venice that will never change. Such as? The water. Venetians are born above the waves. It's in our blood. We also value life. We celebrate. We know how to enjoy. These things are important, no matter what Il Duce may say. How does Venice compare in your eyes to the rest of Italy? I wouldn't know. I have never left. You've never left the Veneto region, or Venice? I have never left the lagoon. Interesting. Why is that? The man smiled widely. Why would I? What is out there that isn't here? Italy is a wonderful country. Surely it's a privilege to live in such a vibrant place. I am privileged to be Venetian, not Italian. The man pursed his lips tightly. You clearly have pride in your heritage. Just so. Why did I do this to myself? What is your reaction to the road bridge that will be completed next year, linking Venice to Mestre? I do not like the idea. He sniffed. Getting detailed answers out of the man was difficult. Why is that? Because change is not necessary. But surely the economic benefits are a strong argument for the road bridge being the future of the city. Mr. Maynard, please don't take my words in the wrong manner. His style of speaking English was precise, but some of his sentences seemed alien in their formation. I am no fool. I can see the reasoning for roads and money. I am sure that some of the younger Venetians would appreciate the idea, but I simply do not want the change. That is as simple as I can state it. If you dilute a fine wine with water, it becomes lost. Sometimes being contained is a blessing. Mussolini can go to hell. A risky sentiment in these times, but perhaps Arduino was too old to care. Arduino leaned back in his seat and sighed, suddenly seeming a lot older than he had before. His final words had provided an obvious end to the conversation, and an end to the questions. Eventually, the Venetian reached for his breakfast again and began to eat listlessly, carrying a shadow of his former energy. I could hear the man's teeth as they bit their way through bread and fruit. The silence soon became too much for me. This man, the German you said, he lives on the top floor? Si, Senior Weber. Siegfried Weber. You wish to speak with him? Yes, I am here to get the opinions of Venetians, but I would be very interested in seeing an outsider's view also. It would provide an interesting contrast to the piece. As you wish. I'm sure you will welcome a guest. Thank you, and of course I wish to hear your own views again, perhaps on another day. I'm sure the paper chose wisely when they contacted you. They did. I know everything about Venice. Thank you. You are welcome, my friend. I hope you have a good day. My host used his fork to push a large piece of bacon into his waiting mouth. His teeth bore down. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Arduino said that Herr Weber lived on the top floor. It was early, but perhaps he would be up. It was worth a try. He's gonna steal this walking stick. The walking stick was well used, but sturdy. Hello? Anyone home? There was no answer. Hello? There was no answer. Fine. This looks like a cactus. The roses looked fresh, full of color. Hello? It seemed that Weber was too engrossed in his music to hear the door. Perhaps it would take something even louder than this piano to shake him from his reverie. I didn't want to damage the varnish on the door. Perhaps there was something else I could hit with the walking stick to make a loud enough noise. Okay, so we're gonna... Seems rude. Oh god. Was ist das? Einen Moment, bitte. I heard the scrape of a chair, and then... Weber was a tall man with a neatly sculpted mustache, long ago given over to gray, beneath relaxed but sharply twinkling eyes. He was wearing a simple white shirt over gray trousers, held up with suspenders, with carefully polished shoes. The sky outside was still choked with clouds, but a white glare of sunlight was able to force its way through, bleeding the color from my surroundings. Can I help you? He was speaking in English with, I cannot do German accent, with a thick German accent from a region I couldn't place, but then I was no expert on Germany. I hope so. I'm looking for an opinion on... I'm sorry, allow me to introduce myself. My name is James Maynard. I'm a journalist. I'm writing a story on Venice, and I was wondering if you'd be able to, or would like to, answer a few questions about your view on the city and the proposed road. A newspaper? Yes, the Illustrated London News. It's quite prestigious. I have not heard of it. The man's features were inscrutable. I tried to break the ice. You were a military man, yes? Why do you say that? Your bearing and those shoes, polished to a brilliant shine. You're a clever man. Yes, I was a soldier when I was young, and I volunteered in their Weltkrieg. Is it Weltkrieg? I was a staff officer in the 1st Infantry Regiment of Baden. Perhaps I fought against you on the Western Front, eh? No, not at all. I was still a child then. Of course. That piano must have been difficult to get up all those stairs. Yes, I hired some help, of course. Please don't touch. I can't stand fingerprints. How long have you been playing? Longer than I was in the military. Perhaps I will let you see which of my skill is strongest, yeah? What? I mean I would play you something. Perhaps my meaning was not plain. I'm too old to be picking fights. But anyway, I'm sure you are not here to listen to me play die Zauberflöte. I think that's how you say that. Zauberflöte? What did you want to know? I'm sure you're aware of the road bridge connecting Venice to the mainland, and the fact that it will soon be completed. I'm aware of the building work, but I had no idea when it would be finished. I don't read the papers. I prefer military history. Is the railway not enough? Some would say yes. I was told before I set out that some within the city even see the rail as being too much. They wish for a return to the past. Venice for the Venetians, that sort of thing. He nodded, but I couldn't be sure if it was a sign of agreement or simply an acknowledgement of the fact. If I might ask, how do you see the city? Why did you decide to move here? Was its history a factor? History is always a factor. The past is, what is the word? Paramount. I agree. Details are everything. Without the past, how can we know where we truly are? Precisely. What was it about Venice that drew you to it? Well, it is beautiful. Any fool can see that. Beautiful and alive. I see. I don't think you do. Come, join me on the balcony. Tell me what the city looks like to you, and we will see if you understand. Very well. The vista that greeted me was the first real view I had seen of the city, except for in photographs. Houses and shops seemed to run together, of red-tiled roofs and cramped alleyways bisecting each other at seemingly random junctures, and the minuscule shapes of the city's inhabitants scurried throughout the structures like termites. It was a tangled labyrinth of pale brick buildings and green-tinted waters. I see houses, streets, shops, and people. It looks disorderly. Wonderful, but disorderly nonetheless. It is so much more. It is a forest, Maynard. Do you think a forest as disorderly? I'm sorry? Yeah, a forest. The same as the one that covers Baden. It is not disorder, you see, but a plan of nature. You cannot judge a city such as this by normal standards. It is unique, built on shifting mud and water. The houses grew. Pathways crawl with shadows and life. There is a creature in every hollow and reasons within every wall. But houses are built, they don't grow. The difference is semantics only. Trees grow towards light, their bodies, no, mass increases with a clear direction, correct? True, but there is no human decision there. Humanity is not relevant. The separation you see between a forest and Venice is the difference between the conscious and the unconscious. But in truth, there is no such difference here. You can't be saying that it was built accidentally, surely. It was built for a purpose, but an unconscious purpose. It was grown to move towards its own light. It was given direction, clear, verdant. I cannot explain as I wish, if only you understand Dutch. Nevertheless, it is interesting, but maybe not useful right now. I know you have a job to do, and guidelines. I, of all people, can respect that. I will give you more useful words. Thank you. The old man gave me opinion and history and stories of his time within Venice. All of it was pertinent and certainly good print, but nothing that he said rang as true as that first exchange. That had been his truth. and the fact of that unsettled me considerably. After an hour, I decided that I had everything I needed, which was a very solid starting point for my piece. Before I left, Weber fixed me with a stare. I should warn you, many Venetians will not be as forthcoming with their opinions as I. As outsiders, we can never hope to fully understand this dark and beautiful place. Be careful. Will do, Weber. My new bestie. Are you home yet? No, okay. Are you home? Gotta do some interviews. Come on, guys. Nope. Fine. Oh, goodness. Witch, little rat, murderer. Intervene? Be off with you. Leave her alone. Keep away or you'll get the plague from her. She's a witch, a dirty little witch. She killed her own mother when she was born. That's not something she could help. Yeah. Babao will come and take you away. Good job, kid. The Babao? What did he mean? Are you all right? What's your name? All right. After staring at me with her chestnut eyes, she disappeared into the shadows. Ooh. I had arranged to meet Don Vincenzo Conti, priest and expert on local history, at the Piazza San Marco. That should be my first destination. Well, I don't want to go back to the station, so yeah, let's go. Ooh. The buildings that surrounded me were certainly wrought with an enviable craftsmanship, although the locals seemed blissfully ignorant of the city's majesty as they walked past, heads down, contained within their own lives. It was as if the crenellations, arches, and statues were totems to a god that had faded from consciousness. Couples walked hand in hand, or gathered in restaurants, dining together on the feast of St. Valentine. And all I had was a letter. I put the thought to the back of my mind and concentrated on the present, and the priest sitting before me. I was in a fascinating city, and there was a story to write. All other matters could wait. Thank you for meeting with me, Don Vincenzo. Oh, little moon. Your Italian is very good. What a lovely surprise. Well, I would hope so after my years in Florence. I must admit, I was surprised that I was given the contact details for a priest. But what kind of religious knowledge? Oh my God. But what is religious knowledge but simply a knowledge of the past? If you're worried about me seeing the past through a particular lens, then perhaps that will be so. But if that circumstance is known, then you can take what you need from me and discard the rest. A rather mercenary notion. Isn't journalism a mercenary profession? I suppose it is. So what can I help you with? Honestly, my reason for contacting you was originally more to do with your opinion of the future, and perhaps we will get to this in time. But having been exposed to certain sites, certain opinions, I think that maybe I should look to past somewhat in order to make sense of what could or will be. An astute observation. Was there any particular area that you were interested in? Have you heard of a babao? Of course, it is a fairy story. A creature used to scare children. Is that so? How was it described? He is also called L'Uomo Nero, the Black Man, a tall man with a heavy black coat and a hat. The famous Bauta, the costume, the face, is based on this. Oh, look, there he is. Parents still knocking on tables, pretending that he is at the door, searching for disobedient children. Theirs are also nursery rhymes about him taking children away for a year, but I should say not to harm or eat them. Don Vincenzo? But rather to take them to a curious, unknown, terrifying location. No, please. Signor Maynard. What will you eat? Oh, shit. No, I am rude. I did not mean to say it like that. I meant to say, would you like to order dinner, sir? The kitchen is about to close. I stared at the waiter. The square was empty. I am practicing my English. I heard you speaking to yourself. How long have I been here? I started around an hour ago, and you were here. No one else? No, should there be? Are you waiting for someone? No. Are you all right, sir? I have to go. The sound of the water lapping at the stonework made my head swim. What had begun as an interesting opportunity was quickly unraveling. My vision of the masked man at the piazza pointed to my condition worsening, but what if it wasn't? One thing was certain. There was far more than met the eye within this city. There were ripples beneath the surface of Venice. February 15th, 1933. The night had passed uneventfully, and I felt rested enough despite the oddities of the previous day. Perhaps all I had needed was a proper night's sleep. It would be good to have breakfast with my host again before heading out. All right, let's go see Arduino. So, Senior Maynard, how was your day yesterday? I returned late, so didn't want to disturb you, but I am keen to know how it went. It was an interesting day. I think I need my wits about me to get the most out of my time here. Ha, that you do. So what is your plan for today? Well, I am hoping to catch up with my old friend Enzo Rossi, if I can find him. He is a historian who may have some insights into the city. I see. Is he Venetian? Well, he lives in the city, I believe. This is not the same. History, family ties, you know. I see. And following this, I think I'm going to visit Grassi Palace to speak to a gentleman named Dante Decina. He agreed to speak to me when I sent an inquiry last week. Decina, I know of him, I think. Really? What can you tell me about him? Just to be careful with him, Mr. Maynard. He is not as foolish as he seems. People seldom are. Anyway, this is a good plan. I hope you have a successful day. Feel free to take any food you need with you for the day ahead. It wouldn't do to go hungry. Thank you. Very kind. And what are your plans for the day? Nothing so exciting. I am simply meeting some family. It's important to stay connected, don't you think? I could feel the letter within my jacket pocket, pressed against my heart. I suppose so. I will take my leave. Please continue eating until you are satisfied. I will tidy things upon my return. Very good. Or very kind. Good day, Arduino. Have a blessed day, Signor Maynard. Platter of... What the fuck is a fritole? Platter of fritole. Gonna yoink some of that. I took a few of the delicious-looking pastries. Alright, some kind of pastry. It was a small larder. Judging by Arduino's love of food, it was no doubt crammed to the rafters. A fine selection of copper pans and cast iron pots. Clearly, Arduino took his catering seriously. It was a very well cared for stove with 2 large ovens. There was a sack of potatoes, some flour, oil, the usual fare for a well-stocked kitchen. There was a pheasant hanging by its neck. I believed it was something to do with helping the flavor of the meat to develop. What, rotten? I do not understand how meat worked back in the day, in the slightest. Good morning. I would like to interview you. Damn. Would you like to be interviewed? No. Bestie, I have come. Yeah, coming. Let yourself in, it's open. It was a sturdy but nondescript cupboard made of polished wood. It was a painting of Venice at twilight, with a bruise-colored sky. It was a nighttime silhouette of a city. It was a piano made of dark wood, lovingly varnished to a sheen. Weber was a tall man with a neatly sculpted beard and mustache, long ago given over to gray, wearing thinly rimmed gold spectacles over his watery eyes. Hey, Siegfried. Herr Weber? What is that piece of music you're playing? It is Schumann's Carnival. Very apt for Venice, don't you think? Do you like it? It's lovely. How many movements are there? There are 21 movements representing the master revelers, changing and moving like the tide moves. What is that word, James? Eddy? Ebbing, although an eddy is also a loop in the water, a current. What a mystery this language of yours is. What are your plans for today, Herr Weber? Herr Maynard, at my age you rarely make plans. I am in the gifted position of having made my money, what little there is of it, and now I live life just for the experience. You're enjoying your retirement, I take it. Very much so. There is always something else to do, something new to learn. I have time, James. Time. It is just a shame that society gives us this time when our bodies are so infirm. This is why I must exercise every day too. You take constitutionals. Was ist das? Walks for health. Yeah, exactly. I lose myself in Venice, and then, because it is so small, I find myself again. What is your opinion of Signor Notaro? Arduino? He loves his food. That much is certain. And he seems a strong man. What do you mean by that? I mean in himself, his mind. He seems to doubt himself very little. We have often had long discussions over lunch where he has held tight to his opinion, despite the obvious evidence that he is wrong. Well, maybe he was right. Yes, that could be true. Maybe it is me who should doubt himself more. I will leave you to your music. Thank you for coming to see me. Company is always appreciated. No props, best. Let's go find somebody else to interview. Alright, now do I want to talk to... I'm supposed to go talk to my friend. So let's go find him, I guess. Achha. The fountain was made of moss-covered stone, slowly eroding in the elements. To the city! Ooh. Alright, well, that's where I am. That's the plaza. Train station. That's where the dilettante is. Oh, and then my friend. Enzo Rossi had been a close friend during my time in Florence. There had been many wine-soaked nights where he had told me of the history of the city, and of Italy in general. His enthusiasm for the country and its customs had been second to none, and he tended to move every few years to a new locale to gain a deeper, first-hand understanding of local customs. I had lost track of him after he had moved to Venice to do just that. This was the last address he had forwarded to me before he stopped replying to my letters. Enzo? What was that sound? Leave me alone. It's your friend James. James Maynard. Enzo, please let me in. No, you can't trick me. Devils, demons. He was replying in English, yet still didn't trust that it was me. What had happened to him? God will curse you for your actions. God loves me. Bless me. Bless me. Enzo, it really is me. Silence. Something was very wrong here. I had to find another way in. The window had been roughly boarded up. I could see a shadowy shape moving within. The planks were nailed on. I wouldn't be able to get one off by hand. A poster of Mussolini had been daubed with red paint. Excuse me, may I ask you something? If it is quick, Signor, this game is just getting interesting. What are you playing? Scopa. The oldest Italian game? Well, maybe. The game has been played in Italian taverns since at least the 15th century. Have you played? No, but I have seen it being played in Florence. I struggled with the rules, to be honest. They could not be simpler. The objective is to sweep up all of cards, hence Scopa, the broom. You capture the valuable cards by matching them to cards in your hand. A Neapolitan deck of 40 cards is traditionally used, but you can also use a standard card deck if you remove the 8s, 9s, and 10s. Would you like to be dealt in? There was money on the table. They would no doubt take far more from me given the chance. Not today, thank you. Maybe later, Signor. I see someone defaced a poster of Mussolini. Really? I hadn't noticed. The man smirked, as did his companions. Surely there will be trouble if that is noticed. Trouble? There is always trouble, Signor. The key is to carry on, regardless. The man did just that, picking up 2 cards from the table, the gleam in his eye. Do you know the owner of this house? A fool, a lunatic. Leave him be. How dare you? I know this man. He is a good friend of mine. You asked me, I told you what I knew. He never leaves his house, cowering in his own filth. What else would you call a man like that? In need of help. Kindness is not always rewarded, Signor. I'll leave you to your game. Yes, yes. To behind Enzo's house. Dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Oh, hello. Tall man. Excuse me. Signor, you need something. It seems quiet in this part of town. Yes, peace can be hard to find here. Or peace can be hard to find. Here, I can hear the waters. But there are no waves in the lagoon. There are small waves, Signor, ones created by boats, by people, and many other living things. Listen and you will hear, I promise you. Are you on break from work? What business is that of yours? I was just making conversation. I didn't mean anything by it. I am where I need to be, Signor. Do you know the man who lives here? Not personally, but I have heard things. Such as? He speaks in riddles and is touched by madness. Best to avoid him, Signor. Goodbye. Be well, Signor. Oh, I guess we're gonna go... Oh, shit! Well, I wasn't getting across until I managed to fix the bridge. What do I have? A dustpan, a walking stick. Aw. Dustpan? No. Fine. I'll be back, Enzo. You there, urchin. Watch yourself. You are in front of Grossi Palace, not your own hovel. I'm just playing, sir. Well, play somewhere else. You don't own the street. Good day. Good day. You speak English? Quite well, sir. How did you know I was English? I'm very observant, sir. It's a lovely day. So it is. It must be a pleasure working in such a fine city. It has its moments. I'm watching you, child. And I'm watching you, ha ha ha. Damn boy. I am here to see Signor Dante Tessina. My name is James Maynard. Signor Tessina is not to be disturbed. But he invited me. On this day? At this time? Well, on this day, yes. We didn't agree a time. Well, it is not convenient. For him or you. You will have much time to consider this whilst on the street. I needed to find a way past the doorman. You, child. Hello there. Signor, you sound strange. I'm British, but I like to think I don't have much of an accent when I speak Italian. Still sounds strange to me. What are you doing? I'm playing, Signor. You're too old to understand. Maybe so, maybe so. Have you been out here long? Since dawn, Signor. It's hard to find space in Venice. But there is a lot in front of the Grossi Palazzo. There is other space. Go find it. No. Do you know anything about Signor Dante Tessina? He dresses like a king. I think he may be one. Well, he's not a king. Oh, he's kind to me. He gives me a sweet from time to time. I like sweets. Do you like sweets? Of course, who doesn't? He doesn't. That grumpy old man. Old? You're all old. Can you distract that man on the door for me? Why? Because I need to get inside. Like a burglar? No, I'm expected. By who? Signor Tessina. Oh, so you want me to make the man angry? Not necessarily angry. Give me a treat, then I will. What kind of treat? Something sweet. All right. I'm assuming this is sweet. It said it's a pastry. Maybe the boy could help me get past the doorman. I decided to offer the child one of the frittole. A frittole! Would you be able to distract the doorman? Uh-huh. That is not what I meant. Bless that child. Dante will have my hide if I don't fix this. Well, that was a little more dramatic than I had foreseen. Whoops. Sorry. You won't have a drink, Mr. Maynard? No, thank you, Signor Decina. Alcohol has a curious effect on me. I believe that is the idea. And you don't mind if we speak in English. I do love to test my knowledge. Of course, your English is excellent, by the way. I would hope so, given how much my parents paid for my tuition. Let me apologize again for the manners of my employee. He is needlessly gruff. That's quite all right. I am here now. Yes, you are. So, what did you want to discuss with me? I believe it was something about the road bridge, the Ponte Littorio. Yes, although I may move on to other topics if that is acceptable. But of course. Are you pleased that Venice will soon be connected to the mainland via the road bridge? What are your initial thoughts? Progress, my dear. Progress, progress, progress. It is a very good thing, and its opening cannot come soon enough. Interesting. There are not many that seem to share your view. Then you are talking to the wrong people. Very blunt. The argument that many have is that having the road bridge dismisses the heritage of Venetians, the rich history of the city. No, not at all. I follow Mussolini in this thought. To be the best nation we can be, we must be traditionalist and at the same time modern. We must, as a people, look to our shared past as Italians, and also to the future, to a modernized Italy. That's a lot of words to say nothing. Do you consider yourself Venetian or Italian? Both, of course. A very interesting question, Maynard. What made you come up with that one? I have met some that see their Venetian heritage as the driving force in their identity. I simply wondered if this was a widespread opinion. Well, Venice certainly has a history to be proud of. It used to be a powerful republic and influenced the culture of Dalmatia. This is why we consider... That's a bit of a bug there. This is why we consider it part of Great Italy. The Italians that live here... The Italians that live there deserve it. But anyway, it is this Italian heritage that is the most vital part of me. I am an Italian citizen, first and foremost. Besides, my family have only lived in the city since the 1860s. You seem to be a firm supporter of fascism. Of course, we are a proud fascist country that continues to grow in power. I'm sure you must admire our accomplishments and what we stand for. Such as? Well, have you heard of the corporatist economic system? Only in the broadest sense. Maybe you could enlighten me. Il Duce proudly states that the economy must involve employer and employee syndicates being linked together in cooperative associations. In this way, they can collectively represent the nation's economic producers and work alongside the state to set national economic policy. Quite an interesting idea. Interesting. It's inspirational. Il Duce is also prepared to stand up for our nation's women, the reproducers of the nation. There should be no need for a woman to work, especially as a prostitute. Prostitution is a plague on a nation. Actually, I'm pretty sure it helps keep rape down. Women must be revered and protected. You mentioned jobs. What if a woman wishes to work? You are joking, of course. Let's move on. What would you say is the core principle of fascism that interests you? I defer to the words of Il Duce himself. The fascist accepts and loves life. He rejects and despises suicide as cowardly. Life as he understands it means duty, elevation, conquest. Life must be lofty and full. It must be lived for oneself, but above all, for others, both nearby and far off, present and future. Inspirational. Well, I've taken up enough of your time. Mr. Maynard, before you leave, I would like to make a request. Certainly. What do you need? This city is a jewel in the Italian crown. However, even here, or perhaps here more than most, for whatever reason, there seems to be an undercurrent of socialists, communists, and Bolsheviks in the waters. How can you be so sure? The secrecy, the stubbornness, surely you've seen it. I don't know, maybe. They hide themselves well, but perhaps if an outsider were to discuss their own beliefs, maybe some would let their masks slip and let their true colors show. Are you saying you want me to spy? Such an ugly word. No, I want you to support the law of this country, that is all. What do you say? No. I must remain neutral in this matter, I'm afraid. Very well. I think we are finished here, are we not? Signor Decina. Good day, Mr. Maynard. I had visited Dante, and for now I couldn't meet with Enzo. Hopefully I'd find a way tomorrow. I could either continue to explore the city, or else find a cafe and relax until evening. When the watch symbol appears in the bottom left of the map, it means that James has completed his main goals for the day. However, there may be optional conversations to have. When you are happy that you have finished, you can click the watch to advance time. Alright, we've been there, and we don't need to go there, so let's try the piazza. Ooh. It was the Column of San Marco, also known as the Column of the Lion. The statue represented Mark the Evangelist, the patron saint of Venice. It was the Palazzo Ducale, which had once housed government offices, a jail, and the residence of the Doge of Venice himself. For the last 10 years, it had been run as a museum, honoring Venice's rich history. St. Mark's Campanile was the bell tower of St. Mark's Basilica. It was the tallest structure in Venice. It was colloquially it's a hard word, colloquially termed the master of the house. Hey you, from yesterday. Good day. Ah, the Englishman! I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions. I'm a journalist. I'll gladly buy a meal in exchange. Unless the owner has any objections. I am the owner. I just prefer to work for a living. It is the Venetian way. I have a few minutes. Excellent. The road bridge to the mainland will be completed next year. What are your first thoughts on the matter? First thoughts? Your initial reaction when you think of the bridge, your gut feeling. I am not happy. Could you elaborate? We have no need for roads. We can get everything we need with the boats. I understand. I myself am thoroughly enjoying the freedom from automobiles. Tradition is important. We have the gondolas, and they are enough for us. But you are Italians. We are Venetians. A century ago, we were our own state, even if it was under the rule of Austria. That was the way it should have remained. I can see you are firmly against the idea of the road bridge, but can you see any benefits for the city? Benefits? The city will be crawling with termites, dragging it down into the mud. I like things the way they are, the way they were. The city should never have built the railway. Venice is unique, the jewel of the Adriatic. Why latch it to these heathens on the mainland? Heathens? Surely the majority of Italy is Catholic, the same as the Venetians. Of course, it is as you say. What is your opinion of Mussolini? I must choose my words carefully, I think. Indeed. I respect his opinion on the history of Italy, but I think he misunderstands Venice. He wants everything to change and calls this progress. I see it as decline, a loss. What do you think will be lost? If you'll excuse me, I need to clean down the tables. If we could conclude this soon? Where is that sound coming from? Is it in the game? Because there's nothing on my computer that would be making that. It's gonna drive me insane. You've been most helpful. Thank you for your time. You're welcome. Perhaps you'll buy a coffee next time. Well, I offered to buy a meal. To the city. Well, I think that's everyone today. So let's go to bed, I guess. Bloop. Oh, it's the little girl! When I arrived back at Arduino's residence, I saw a young woman stepping out of the front door with a long coat drawn up tight around her slender frame. Farewell. Little girl, do you know that woman? That's Isabella. She lives here? Uh-huh. Do you live here too? The little girl just stared at me. I decided to hurry after Isabella to introduce myself and hopefully set up an interview for the morning. Yawn. Signora. Ah! Leave me alone. Okay, we're just gonna... Hold on. Okay, I've closed everything not game related. Hopefully that stops the weird sound. Leave me alone. Signor, I didn't mean to startle you. Hey, you! The stranger was quite thin, but much taller than I, and his wide shoulders gave him a formidable appearance. His face was long, but not drawn, with a strong jawline and a distinctive Roman nose. His hair was a wild brown mess over his long skull. Get away from her! What do you think you're doing? I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask her something. What? What did you want? Why would she want anything from you? Roberto, calm down. Oh, Roberto, calm down. I know him. He's the man I've been telling you about, my guest from abroad. Mr. Maynard, this is my son Roberto. He lives in the apartmento above me. I was going to introduce you tomorrow, but, well, here we are. I'm sorry, I must have scared her. I wasn't thinking. Isabella, I'm a reporter. I only wanted to ask a few questions. We can do it another day if you are interested. I'm sorry. Bella is a young woman out by herself. She was screaming loud enough to wake the devil. What would you have done? I suppose the explanation was a peace offering of sorts. I'll be fine, Roberto. Thank you. It's bad business all around. You shouldn't have scared Bella like that, Mr. Maynard. How are you, little one? I'm fine. He's not so terrifying now. Good. I think you are due at the cafe, yes? Yes, of course. Englishman, you're a reporter for a newspaper. The Illustrated London News, yes. I have a few minutes while I walk to work. You can ask me some questions if you can keep up. Goodbye, gentlemen. I wasn't going to hurt him. It's so quiet. Strange considering how full this city is of life. I suppose I'm from Mestra, so I'm used to the quiet. Nothing happens in Mestra. She smiled, showing a hint of dimples in her cheeks. She's lovely. So what did you want to ask me about, Signor Maynard? Oh, of course. First, may I have your full name for the article? Isabella Croce. Thank you. I only have one question, really. The road bridge. Are you for or against it? For, I suppose. Really? Can I ask why? I don't know. Some things just seem like a good idea. A good idea in the sense of progress, of opportunities? You're aware of the predicted increase in sightseers. That doesn't bother me. The city is already crowded enough, and I don't know. Some things just need to change. What things? Venice for the Venetians, traditions, customs, nonsense. Have you noticed the dolls? The dolls? Look, here. What are they for? Are they a tradition? I honestly have no idea. I see them everywhere, so there's obviously some reason for them, but outsiders aren't privy to such knowledge. I've asked a few people, but they just tell me it's none of my business. Let them have their silly little stories. I noticed a small birthmark on the nape of her neck, in the shape of a crescent moon. I found myself staring. Isabella possessed a charm and easy manner that seemed to draw extra heartbeats from my chest. Anyway, come on, we're almost there. There was more than simple beauty there. It was a sense that Isabella was looking to embrace life. For a man such as me, who found many things to be uncontrollable, despite my best wishes, it was an enviable quality. The thought of Charlotte began to bleed into the back of my consciousness, but I managed to force her back into the shadows. After all, she had rejected me. I owed her nothing. You said you're considered an outsider, but you're from Mestra, though, aren't you? That's barely 5 miles away. It's far enough in their eyes. The lagoon is their border, and being born here is probably the only way of belonging. To be honest, I haven't tried that hard. Perhaps in time they'll warm to me. Arduino has, then Roberto. A large building sat across the canal from us. It appeared to be a church at first glance, but with certain obvious differences. 2 square towers stood on either side of a wide frontage that housed a large stained glass window, depicting a large triangle over a curved line. This is my work, so we'll have to leave the questions for now. This building? Arduino said you worked at a cafe. He can say what he wants. It's a bit like a cafe in some ways. Meals are served, food is eaten. I don't suppose I'd be allowed to have a look. Venetians only, I'm afraid. If I didn't work there, I wouldn't be allowed in either. Well then, I'll head back, I suppose. If I can find my way, that is. Just find the Grand Canal and follow it back. You'll be fine. She smiled again, though it was fleeting. Good night, Isabella. I don't enjoy it. What do you mean? Bella, you're late. We'll talk later. Isabella. Oh, shit. Had I fallen asleep standing up? Where was I? Weren't there some dolls there before? Oh. Big dolls. Oh, and I'm in bed now. I was in bed. Fleeting memories of streets and faces danced past. I needed to ground myself. Why was I here? There was a woman. Isabella. Yes, I could use her last name if I could remember what it meant. It's gross. What is Isabella? It means cross? Interesting. Cuoco, hat. Crociera, boat. Cochi, pot. Cross. Yes, that was it. It meant cross. Rose, cross. This combined with Isabella, which meant devoted to God. It was a very holy name. I hope this gave her protection in her work. Finally, I could rest. You took the doll home? Why? February 16th, 1933. Dawn was ushered in on a wave of rain, running off the rooftops and spilling down into the canals. My thoughts went to Isabella and the curious building she worked at. Was it really a cafe? Or could its true purpose be something else entirely? Could it be one of the dens of socialism that Dante Tessina had spoken of? Unfortunately, I still had no memory of how I had returned home. I had long ago given up trying to make sense of my nighttime experiences. But even compared to my worst nights, the last few days have been truly shocking. I felt my mind was coming apart at the seams. Maybe I could have a day off. Yes, a moment to take stock, gather my... Come in. I am sorry to bother you, Signor Maynard, but I have a letter for you delivered this morning. Thank you, Arduino. Please come in. Thanks, bro. I recognized the handwriting. It was from Don Vincenzo, inviting me to visit him at San Sebastiano Church to continue the interview that was cut short by my episode. I made a mental note to add it to my schedule for the day. For you, I think. Signor Maynard, I wanted to apologize for my behavior yesterday. I reacted poorly to the situation. Roberto was akin to a soldier in stature rather than a painter, so it was strange to see the man so nervous. That's quite all right. You were obviously just trying to protect Isabella. Yes, of course, as anyone else would for a person in trouble. I was wondering if you would join me for breakfast. You can ask me some questions if you wish, or simply eat. Certainly, I'd welcome the chance. The next floor up, whenever you feel ready, Signor Maynard. Please call me James. Thank you, James. I have some business to attend to. Please, if you need anything for today, feel free to visit my kitchen. Have a good day, Mr. Maynard. Before heading out for the day, I decided to check the address of the church in Don Vincenzo's letter. No, this letter was, I longed for you to seize the day, to embrace adventure. Wrong letter. Why do you keep carrying that? Tell me again of Florence, James. Really, I have spoken of it so many times, and I will ask for it many more times. Please? Very well. It is a city of beauty, of art. 700 years the best of the Renaissance live in the stonework of the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, the Church of Santa Croce, the Palazzo Vecchio, the Uffizi Gallery, and the Palazzo Pitti. I used to sit at the Piazzale Michelangelo long into the evening, staring out at the terracotta roofs at the Duomo di Firenze. The city houses the works of great masters such as Giotto, Brunelleschi, Botticelli, and Michelangelo. A shame I will never see it again, but that is life. Is it? Why must it be so? We rarely left London last year, and now you rarely even leave the grounds. Life is complicated. We are no longer children. We are not yet 30, James. We could go anywhere, be anyone we want to be. It's not so simple. What would we do for money? We could get by. We can both work. We don't need this luxury if we're trapped. Our life is not over. I never said it was. Don't twist my words. You need to leave this house, your parents. It's not healthy. What would you know of it? You told me yourself. Enough. But when did we ever travel away from the familiarity of London? Would it have been so hard to see some more of the world? You always spoke of your love of Italy, and yet you have never offered to take me. And yet, here I am, without you. You were too impatient. And I was a coward. I had to put that aside for now. I saw that Don Vincenzo's diocese was the Church of Saint Sebastian in the west of the city. All right. Berto lived on the first floor. I could visit him now, or perhaps after I had been about my business in the city. I could also check on Bella on the second floor. I hope she'd got home safely last night. Well, obviously, we're going to do this stuff in our building first. That would be silly to leave and come back to do it. All right. Roberto! It's open! Roberto's apartment was a scene of relative chaos compared to the tidiness of Arduino's residence. There were stacks of paintings against every wall, folded easels, sketchbooks, and a huge collection of paints clustered on a color-splattered shelf. Please forgive me, I need a much larger room. My home is my studio. It's hard on Rosa, too. She has to play outside most days. It's quite all right. James, I want to thank you for helping Rosa when she was being bullied. She told me that you tried to protect her. Children can be vicious. I'm glad I could help. I cast my eyes over Roberto's paintings. I had never been the most studious when it came to the subject of art, a fact that had hastened my departure from studying the subject in Florence. I did, however, know what I liked, and I could appreciate the vivid colors and attention to detail that was present in each one of Roberto's landscapes. Your work is excellent, if I may say so. You're kind, but sadly I do not sell anywhere near enough of my paintings to live on. I must rely on relatives, both my own and Luciana's, which is disheartening, to say the least. Luciana, is she Rosa's mother? Yes, I'm sure my father told you of my circumstances. Very little, he didn't go into details. Don't worry, it has been several years since she passed. She's more of a story than a memory to Rosa, but she is still very much a part of our lives. Anyway, as I was saying, I may have to give it up altogether if things do not improve soon. He closed his eyes and shook his head. Well, we have started out on a depressing note. How long were you and Luciana together? We met as teenagers. I was hurrying through the streets to set up a stall, trying to sell my first foolish attempts at painting. Luciana was coming the other way, arms filled with groceries for her mother. The streets here are a maze at the best of times, dark and narrow. We collided, and that was that. We became inseparable, I suppose, until... Have you ever been in love, James? I think so. Sadly, Charlotte didn't feel the same way. Love is never simple. It is complex, painful, and at times joyous. Do not give up. She is the one who has given up. I don't think that she will entertain the notion of seeing me again, let alone anything more. If you give it time, I'm sure you will love again. Roberto had fixed me with a stare, as if he were desperate for an answer to a question that had not been asked. I had the feeling that I knew what that question was. Suddenly, Roberto's reaction to Bella's scream made a lot more sense, as did the glances between the two on the previous night. Have you ever loved again? Roberto glanced over at his daughter, lowering his voice. Yes, Isabella Gross, which I think you could tell. You are polite, but we don't hide it well. It had been 5 years since my Luciana passed, each day as gray as the last, and then suddenly Bella appeared. Suddenly I'm alive again. And yet I can tell no one, for fear of the community's reaction. My daughter's reaction is already more than I can bear. She cannot look Bella in the face. I can understand your daughter's reaction, but surely others will see that you need not remain alone for the rest of your days. Is remarrying so rare? My wife was Venetian and had a great many friends within the city. Bella, bless her, is from Mestra. She would not be accepted. Surely such a thing would pass with time. If it is kept secret, then will the reaction not be worse in the long run? Perhaps, or perhaps not. Ah, James, you do not know Venetians. There are things that are unique, things I wish I could leave behind. Can I trust you to keep my secrets? Of course. I enjoyed the meal and the conversation. I have no intention of souring the experience. You're a good man, James. You deserve happiness. He smiled warmly before his expression faded into a look of concern. You should leave Venice soon, I think. Why? Arduino said something similar. Well, he hinted that I should think twice about staying. Did he really? Well, he's right. It's not a good time to be in Venice. I myself am considering leaving. I have been for some time. What's stopping you? It's not so easy to simply leave. There are ties, obligations, and customs. Oh, I'm sorry. I've kept you long enough with my problems. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. Let's speak again later. I would like that. Alright, well, bye, Roberto. I'm gonna go say hi to your wife. Isabella. Come in. Signor Maynard, it's good to see you again. Hello, Isabella. I hope I'm not intruding. Not at all. Come in. Bella was wearing a velvet dress with a black lace choker. A rather elegant affair, considering how sparsely decorated her room was. I noticed a large red book on her dresser. The title was A History of Venetian Life. I wanted to see how you were. You seemed a little distressed at the end of our walk. She looked down and pursed her lips. It is just what it is. It can be hard to find work. I should be thankful. She tilted her head and looked into my eyes. Did you get home in good time? Did you find your way from the Did you find your way from the Melusina? The cavern of my lost memories yawned before me. Yes, I think so. The Melusina, that's the name of the building? Yes, I've been told that it is based on a folktale. Interesting. Do you know the story? Yes, I was told as soon as I began to work there. Venetians are keen to share their history for the most part. There is a small stone heart in the Castello district, embedded in the wall of an alleyway. It is called the Soprotego dei Preti, and it commemorates two lovers. A smile briefly crossed her features. A young Venetian fisherman named Oreo, who was pulling nets in one night, when he heard a woman's voice calling to him. Please set me free, I beg of you. He saw the face of a beautiful woman emerge from the waters of the lagoon. He then saw the flick of a tail underwater and realized that she was a mermaid. She was called Melusina, and the two fell in love. Of course, their love would be impossible as it was, so she gave up the waters to live in his home with one condition. Oreo had to stay away from the house every Saturday until they were married. At first, Oreo agreed to this. However, as the weeks passed, jealousy grew in his heart and he became suspicious. One Saturday, he stormed the house and found himself in front of a terrifying snake. The snake was Melusina, cursed to be transformed every week, the only way to lift it being love and marriage. Thankfully, Oreo was able to control his fear, and they did eventually marry. How curious. This is a very different tale to most. Usually that distrust would end in tragedy. The story is not yet finished, Mr. Maynard. Oh, I do apologize. Please go on. They had 3 children and were very happy. However, one day, Melusina became very ill and suddenly died. Oreo was left alone with his 3 children. He thought he would struggle to look after his children, his work, and the household chores, but strangely, every time he returned home, he found it clean and tidy. One day, after returning home because of stormy weather, he found a snake in the kitchen. Fearing for his children, he killed it. From then on, the house was never again tidy or clean, and Oreo finally understood that the snake was what had remained of his love, Melusina, dead by his own hand. The red brick heart now marks the spot where their house used to stand, and it is said that if you and your beloved touch it, your love will last forever. Bittersweet, as these stories often are. She blinked her eyes and dabbed at them with her sleeve. Life, I think, is far more gloomy than folk tales, wouldn't you say? Perhaps so. May I borrow your book on Venetian life? This city is still a mystery to me. Of course, James. The writing is a little simplistic, but it does have some interesting notes on the city. I bought it when I first arrived in an attempt to help me fit in more. Were you successful? I honestly have no idea. Perhaps you will have more success. We'll see. Goodbye and be well, Isabella. You too, Signor. And now to see my bestie. Must visit him every day, for he is old. We know not when he will die. I'm moment. It's open. Herr Weber. Yeah? The weather today is beastly. Beastly. An interesting choice of words. I enjoy the rain myself, especially storms. It helps to remind me there are bigger forces at work. This is easy to forget sometimes. We can seem so small, so insignificant in this world. Is that so? But are you not a Christian, Herr Weber? Surely God has a purpose for everyone. Sometimes I wonder. I think I am alive more by luck than any kind of design. Do you know much about the woman who lives below you, Signora Isabella? Ah, yes, you have met her. A very intelligent young Fraulein. Do you know anything about her profession? She works in a restaurant, I think, or something of that kind. Why do you ask? Well, I had the pleasure of her company last night as she walked to work, but there was something in her manner. Never mind, I think my mind is playing tricks on me. I am struggling to sleep. You should try a quick afternoon sleep, my friend. I swear by it. Perhaps. Have a good day, Airwebber. And you, Air Maynard. I'll enjoy your music, buddy. Oh, wait. It's raining. Well, I have a coat. Do I have a hat? Okay, well, put them on. The rain was incessant. I would need my coat from my room. That's what I was trying to do, James. Fine. Alright. I don't want to talk to you because you're a creep. That's where I need to go. Let's go there first. Church of St. Sebastian. The outside of San Bastiano Church was quite plain, apart from a statue at the apex of the roof of St. Sebastian, wounded by arrows. Ooh, hammer. It was the same sigil that I had seen on the building where Bella worked. What could it mean? Perhaps I should ask Don Vincenzo. There was a sturdy-looking hammer on the workbench. It could be useful. Signor? Are you renovating the church? Not at the moment. I'm on my break, Signor. I see. The church looks to be well cared for. Of course, this church has been a part of our history since Venice was a republic. We Venetians respect our roots. So I've heard. It isn't a very nice day for outside work. I like the rain, to be honest. It cools the brow and it feeds the lagoon. Are you not worried about becoming ill? Ha! My wife's meals keep me strong, don't worry about me. Can I borrow your hammer? Maybe. What do you need? Me? Nothing at all except respect. Respect? For the city, I can tell. For the city. I can tell from your accent that you're not Venetian. You've seen the lions around the city, the Lions of St. Mark? They're often carved with a book, sometimes open, sometimes closed. Tell me why. This will prove to me that you know of our history. Then you can borrow the hammer. Simple. Well, I definitely don't know that. Good day, Signor. So I guess we'll ask the priest. It sounds religious, lions and books and whatnot. Signor Maynard, so good to see you. Don Vincenzo. I was concerned, Signor. After our last meeting, we were discussing folklore and then you seemed distracted and then I fell asleep, I know. I have this condition, you see. Asleep? No, you did not fall asleep. What? No, your eyes were wide open, my boy. That has never happened before. Yes, your eyes were wide, but you wouldn't respond to me. You were whispering. Whispering? What was I saying? It was too quiet for me to hear. I tried to speak to you, but you would not respond. After a while, I had to leave. I asked the waiter to look out for you. I'm glad to see you are well. I'm happy to continue the interview, if that is what you wish. What can you tell me about the history of Venice? Well, you certainly don't mind asking the big questions. Perhaps it would be better if we narrowed it down a bit. Can we discuss religion? This voice is annoying. Why did I choose this? As you may have guessed, that is my area of expertise. Of course, forgive me. Nothing to forgive, my boy. Italy and the Vatican are, of course, the center of the papacy, as I'm sure you know. I'd be a poor journalist if I didn't at least know little about the world. Yes, of course, where the papal statues were established by Pope Gregory in 590 AD, but the Catholic Church, as it is today, didn't come to be until the Great Schism. The Great Schism? The excommunication of the Patriarch of Constantinople, Michael Cerularius, created the Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox faiths. Although, to be truly accurate, Catholicism truly originated in 30 AD during the Roman occupation of Jewish Palestine. It is a continuation of the early Christian community established by Jesus' disciples. There is proof of Christianity arriving in Italy in the 1st century, most likely introduced through traders, soldiers, and travelers, and the letter to the Romans by Paul the Apostle gives indications of Christians in Rome. Of course, it was another 3 centuries before the Roman gods were replaced with Christianity as the state religion, which was sometime in the late 4th century. And the Roman and pagan gods simply died out? Died? Well, nothing can truly die, my boy. Beliefs often continue in some form or other. Humanity has an instinct to seek out the truth, and there are many paths to enlightenment. But as a priest, surely other religions are a threat to be denied. Perhaps some would say so, but personally I see them more as the different faces of the same being. Very interesting, thank you. I am interested in the customs of Venice. As any right-thinking person would be. The city is steeped in interesting customs, both large and small. In Venice, both men and women greet each other with a handshake, but when introduced, a man bows his head and waits for the woman to extend her hand first. Close friends may greet each other with a hug or a kiss on both cheeks, as in the rest of Italy. There's a yearly festival called the Marriage of the Sea, which celebrates our maritime history and dates back to the Middle Ages. And then, of course, there's the Carnival. Do you miss it, Don Vincenzo? You cannot miss what has not died, Signora. But it is banned, and these things have a way of clawing their way back, Signor. I'm sure the tradition will live on. The folklore of Italy and the Veneto region is fascinating. Oh, yes, it truly is. Have you heard of the Bombassin? No, I haven't. Please illuminate me. He is a monstrous creature that is spoken of around the Venetian lagoon and Polesine region, traditionally linked to the customs of Crucifixia and Carnival. The character has the appearance of an angry bull and represents the most ferocious and wild side of human nature. He is sometimes accompanied on parades by peasants who hold him in check with a chain, while the Bombassin scares young and old in its path. Its name derives from the cotton wool, a word that in turn derives from the Greek word for cotton, a material used to build the large black mantle that wraps the Bombassin. More recent tales connect him to the mythical character of King Hadrian and to the gnomes of Polesine. How interesting. I have a specific question about the statues of the lions, I have a specific question about the statues of the Lions of St. Mark. What would you like to know? The statues often have a book at their feet, which is either open or closed. What is the significance of this? A good observation. Well, the books are the Gospel of Mark, of course. When it is open, it means that the statue was constructed during a time when Venice was at peace, and if closed, at war. Interesting. Thank you, Don Vincenzo. I hope the information would serve to show my respect in the workman's eyes. Let us discuss something else. Certainly. How long have you been based here? At the Chiesa di San Sebastiano. As soon as I was ordained, I applied for this parish, maybe 1890 or 91. I'd always been fascinated by the beauty of this building, modest yet so rich with architectural beauty. The great Paolo Veronese painted the frescoes, ceiling canvases, and other pieces covering the life of Saint Sebastian, along with scenes from the Book of Esther and the life of Jesus. After he died, he was even entombed here. He knew he had been a part of something very special. What is your view of Mussolini and the new road bridge that is soon to be completed? The reason for your visit. Well, as a servant of God, I am of course more interested in traditions than change. The railway is enough. Road traffic would be a distraction, a diluting effect on the charm of the city. And as for Il Duce, well, he and the church seem to have found an accord. He helped to oversee the Lateran Treaty, recognizing the Vatican City as an independent state under the sovereignty of the Holy See. The government also agreed to give the church financial compensation for the loss of the papal states. This cannot be ignored. I see, so you approve of him. I am compelled to, Signore. An interesting choice of words. Any reticence? Venice will remain Venetian, as it did before Mussolini, as it will after him. That is all that matters. I saw a sigil on the door outside, a triangle and a curved line. Do you know what it is? Really? Interesting. Perhaps this was some locals trying to honor God in their own way. You aren't concerned? Isn't it desecrating the church? God should be more concerned with the strife in the world, in Italy, than to be bothered about a door, don't you think? A good point, I suppose. Let the Venetians have their customs, Signor Maynard. It is their city, our city, after all. All right. It has been a pleasure. Goodbye. Feel free to visit me again. It is always a pleasure, Signor Maynard. I don't want to visit you again. Your voice is very hard. It was a raised painting of Christ, painted in tasteful and understated colors. All right, bro. So, Yanni. Signor? Hmm? About the books, they're at the feet of the lion statues? Yes, senor. Do you have an idea? The book represents the Gospel of St. Mark. Ah, tell me more. The books are shown as being open if Venice was at peace when the statue was built, and closed if Venice was at war. Ah, yes, very good, senor. Another legend is that it is a symbol of taxation outside of Venice when we were a republic. If the book were open, it was a city that owed taxes to Venice. Closed, that town didn't have to pay. But I prefer the first theory. It is more dynamic. Taxes are seldom exciting. Agreed, senor. So, may I borrow the hammer? Of course. When do you need it back? There is no rush. In truth, I have 3 more. Take your time. Thank you, my friend. I took the hammer. All right, let's blow this popsicle stand. To the city. All right. Anything fun and interesting here? Black shirt. What is a black shirt? Oh, Mussolini's black shirts were an ever-present presence in Venice, casting their eyes over the city and utilizing violence wherever they saw fit. Well, I'm not talking to them. Stall owner. The old woman behind the stall met my gaze and gave me a wide smile with her yellowing teeth. All right, you seem friendly. Hello, my dear. What would you like on this fine day? Fine? The weather is appalling. How else will the fruit grow or the rivers run? Never shun a rainy day, senor. So what can I help you with today? I have fresh food, dried food, tinned food, whatever your handsome heart wishes for. This is quite a prime location for a food stall. That it is. Very good for business. You must have to pay quite an amount for the privilege, I imagine. Nonsense. Get what you want, you see. Get what I want, you see. Very persuasive I am. By the way, your haircut is quite dashing, senor. The old woman grinned, batting her eyelashes as she polished an apple. Thank you. Are you Italian? Your accent is a little exotic. I am English, signora. Fancy. I expected you'd like a cup of tea. Well, that is certainly a generalization. But yes, I would, actually. I pity the cafe is closed, then. Can I ask you some questions about Venice? If you really wish to, but may not be able to answer many. I am from Tuscany, you see. I've only lived here for a handful of years. I see. Did you find the city welcoming? As welcoming as anywhere, I suppose. When you run your own stall and move to a new location, there was always some resistance from the local stallholders, but I soon got past any difficulties. And how did you do that? By not caring. She flicked the back of her fingers under her chin. I had seen the expression many times in Italy. Let me see your wares. Not on the first date, my dear. I could... Don't blush, senor. I like your pale complexion. Here's my most popular stock. I'm going to buy one of everything. Buy an apple. Could I buy an apple, please? They look very good. Certainly, my little puppy. Do not call me that. I'd like to buy some bread, I think. When was it baked? This morning, little sparrow. I think I will buy some olive oil, please, to go with the bread. My wish is your command, little mouse. A packet of coffee would be good. Only the best for my teddy bear. I'm gonna give the coffee to Arduino. Stop flirting with me. Thank you for your time. The pleasure is all mine. Well, maybe not just mine, senor. Yes, yes. Good day. Farewell, ma'am. My heart belongs to another. Alright, let's go find Enzo. Bleh. Where's my hammer? Hi-ya! Yeah. It looks sturdy enough. I hoped it would hold. I don't trust you. Enter Enzo's house. Oh, goodness. Bark, bark. There was a colossal Leonberger hound tied to the wall, guarding the doorway beyond. There was candlelight in the next room. I hoped that was where Enzo was. The dog was huge, though its ribs were showing in places, showing that he was underfed. It was a pile of unidentifiable waste and detritus. The dresser was in a poor state. It was probably unsalvageable. It was a large metal dish for the dog's food. It was empty and licked clean. Okay, so I'm supposed to feed the dog. The window was boarded up so securely that not even light was able to break through. I don't think I have anything that the dog wants. Gretchen, don't snore so loud. Maybe breakfast. Maybe Arduino has something that I can steal. Like that pheasant. Arduino, can I borrow this giant chunk of meat here? Arduino, may I have this cold cut? The whole thing's. Gods, what an appetite you have. Well, maybe you can if you do something in return. Such as? Senor Weber once brought some delicious pickles from his homeland to one of our meals, and I would love to try them again. Can you go and see if you'll be generous enough to give me some? Certainly. I'll be back later. Grazie. Alright, I'll trade an errand for a giant chunk of ham. I would actually die if I had to live in this place. There's so many stairs. Ein Moment. You just lock it as soon as I leave? Nobody's gonna break in. I need some pickles, bestie. Airweber, Arduino mentioned that you had once shared with him a certain type of pickle? I have served many meals with him. Can you be more specific? He said it was from your homeland? Ah, yes. Spreewald gherkin from Spreewald, as you can probably guess. They are fantastic, James, really. I have no idea where the flavor comes from. It's something to do with the extra ingredients. Such as? Basil, lemon balm, grape leaves, cherry leaves, or walnut leaves. But in what proportion, I have no idea. I have some jars in that cupboard by the door. Take one, Vijay. Oh, thanks. Have a good day, Erweber. And you, Maynard. Let's yoink some pickles. Pickle. Alright, I picked up one of the jars of pickles. Farewell. Arduino! Arduino, I have brought you some pickles. Arduino, I have the pickles from Mayor Weber. Excellent. Please place them on my breakfast table. You may take the cold cut. I will eat them later with some gorgonzola. Cheese and pickles, huh? Yeah, cold cut for me. I took the cold cut. Alright. How are you doing this morning? I forgot to say good morning to you. I'm a terrible guest. Arduino. Yes, Senor Maynard. Last night, in the alleyway. Yes, an unfortunate business. It was an interesting way to be introduced to your son. He is a strong-willed, impulsive man, but a good one, Senor. No doubt. He wears his heart on his shirt, as you would say. Sleeve. The saying is he wears his heart on his sleeve. But the heart is in the chest. Ah, you English, you have such a strange way with words. Is there anything I can do to help today? With the housework? No, not at all, Senor. You are my guest, not a servant. You should enjoy your short time in Venice. Make the most of everything we have to offer you. Thank you. Very kind. Now, if you'll excuse me, the stain will require a lot more work. Have a good day, Arduino. And you, Senor. Alright, let's go feed a dog. All this talking is making me yawn. You guys are mean. And you're suspicious. All right, dog friend. I have brought you a ham shank. Wahahaha. Enzo, stop right there. I'll kill you. The man that stood before me was a shadow of the man I had known. His clothes were ripped and filthy, his eyes were wide and bloodshot due to lack of sleep, and his greasy hair was slicked to his brow with sweat. Enzo, what happened to you? Don't you recognize me? It's James. I spoke to him in English, as I had in the old days back in Florence, hoping that it would cement my identity in his mind. No, James, no more. No longer. Tricking me. Lies on lies. Mother Mary, save me. Deprecar deum pacus. Oh, God damn it. Ucanerat satanum sub pedibus nostris. Ne nostra vale captivis tenor hominis et ecclesiae nasere. I do not know Latin. And so, my poor friend, the eyes of the devil are green. Green! James is lost! No, it's really me. Your mother's name is Chiara. You took me for a meal at her house in the summer of 29. I saw the house you grew up in, the olive tree in your garden. James, it's me. James, you have no idea the things I've seen. Oh, buddy. How did you end up like this? A story with a beginning and an end. No end, no, not yet. Close enough. My friend had obviously been under a huge amount of stress, his mind buckling under the pressure. What do you mean? Please calm yourself. James, what a fool I have been. No one helps a fool, no one. He reminded me of my grandfather when he had begun to slip into dementia. I needed to help him orient himself. Beginning, please, Enzo. Tell me what happened when you left Florence. Start with that. Florence, yes. I wanted to learn, and I did learn. I learned too much, James, too much. He ground his teeth together, eyes screwed up tight as if the memories were causing him physical pain. First I was a stranger, then they trusted me. That was when I was cursed. Oh God, oh Jesus Christ. I don't understand. What do you mean? No. What are you so scared of? The children. Didn't you see them? They surround me. Children? You fear children? No, I mean, yes, the children of Venice. They are waiting for me to leave before they attack, before they kill me. They won't let me leave with their secrets. Do you mean the men outside? They are just workmen, playing cards. No, they fooled you. They fool everyone. Secrets long held, long hidden. They try to get in, but I guard myself. I have weapons, symbols, and secrets of my own. I looked at the circle of salt that surrounded him, the rusting cavalry sword resting against the table, the symbol daubed in tar on the wall. I also saw the broken glass of the window, now boarded up, and was that bloodstains? Was it madness, or did someone truly try to break in? Either way, I needed to play along for now. How long have you been trapped here? Weeks, months? I don't know. Tears welled in his eyes. How are you surviving? How are you getting food? I could see a sack of rotting apples propped against the table. Somehow he was getting food, even if it wasn't very fresh. Francesca, she is from Tuscany, not Venetian. She sells food. She brings it to me. I have a little left, a few lire, some jewelry. Not much time. But I won't let them touch me. I would rather die. Come with me, Enzo. Let me help you. No, they would kill you too if you were with me. Or worse. Can't I do anything to persuade you? No, I won't leave, I won't. I gave Francesca my crucifix for some food. My mistake. Get it back for me, please. And then you'll come with me? Get some help? The man looked away. I had no idea if getting this crucifix back would help or not, but I would have to try. I needed to find this Francesca, somehow. I'll be back. Stay safe. Safe? Yes? Oh, buddy. It was an old cavalry saber. It was a small wooden chest, probably holding the last of Enzo's valuables. Gretchen. It was a large painting of some sort of branch, daubed in black paint. Oh, paint. Yoink. Don't know what I'm gonna need that for. Picked up the black paint carefully. It would no doubt stain my clothes if I were to spill it. Do a lot more to stain them. I wanted to see the garlic. A string of garlic had been hung next to the boarded-up window. I had no need to smear the painting. It was an 8-pointed star in white paint. If memory served, it was either a protective measure or a representation of Lucifer. It's a protective measure. Oh. The dog was sleeping after its meal, finally satisfied. Pet dog? Oh, I didn't want to risk patting the dog in case it bit my hand off. Coward. I would pat the dog. Alright, let's go back to Francesca, the flirty grocery lady. Wonder what she'll take as trade for a crucifix. Hello again, dearest. What do you need? Is your name Francesca, by any chance? You've been talking to people about me, you cheeky hatchling. Yes, I am Francesca, a beautiful name, don't you think? Yes, of course. Then you know my dear friend, Enzo Rossi. Her brow furrowed. For a moment her usual good humor was replaced with concern. Enzo. Yes, I know that poor soul. Such a shame. Yes, he is not well at all. It's not good for him to be cooped up in that rotting house with his delusions. Has he spoken to you about... Well, I don't know where to start. The fact he's being watched. That he is trapped. Yes, madness, surely, but I can never persuade him to leave. I visit him regularly. He used to buy food for me, but now he has hardly any money left, so I give him what I can from leftover stock. Perhaps the best place for him is the madhouse. The thought of my friend being locked away, potentially for the rest of his life, filled me with dread. But there was no denying that the man who had threatened me with a pistol was also a danger to others, and to himself. Would it really be better if he were to fall ill and die alone in that house? He said he sold you a crucifix? A crucifix? Oh yes, on a chain. A small piece that I gave him far more for than it was worth. Could he have it back? He believes he needs it for protection. Give it back? No, I don't think so. I am willing to pay. The money is not the issue, Signor. Then what is the issue? Do you wish to feed his delusions? The sooner he rids himself of all the mystical paraphernalia, the better. Do you describe a crucifix as mystical paraphernalia? Do you not believe in Christ? My family were never very religious, Signor. It was hard work that kept our family together during difficult days, not trust in the Holy Trinity. Enzo needs to see that these trinkets do nothing, and that he is still safe. What makes you think that will help? Well, it's that of the asylum. Please, he said he would leave the house if I get him the crucifix. I need to try. Very well, if you openly declare your affection for me. Excuse me? My affection? Your feelings are obvious, Signor. Prove you are a man of conviction. Give me something meaningful, and then I will give you the crucifix. She flashed me a crooked smile. Such as? Use romance, Signor. Surprise me. The pleasure is all mine. Well, maybe not just mine, Signor. Yes, good day. What have I seen that's romantic? Nothing here. Nothing at Enzo's. The dilettante was just an empty courtyard. Not the train station, so there's something at the apartment. Okay. Oh, church? No. Okay, something at the apartment. Nothing in here looks romantic. Like a plain empty vase. It was probably here more as storage than decoration. Give you my love letter? My breakup letter? Was that romantic? Some coffee? Oh yeah, the cactus is actually roses. Let's steal a rose. That's romantic. I took one of the roses. Little root. Sorry, Isabella. I'll replace it later. Alright, Francesca, you may have the rose. You creep. Francesca, maybe this will serve as a token of my affection. Signor, this is so unexpected. My heart is aflame. You may have the crucifix. Anything for my little puppy. Call me a puppy, that's creepy. I finally had Enzo's crucifix. Maybe now I will be able to persuade him to leave his home. Yeah, let's go. Save Enzo. Save Enzo. Save Enzo. I'm watching you. I'm also watching you. Enzo, I have your crucifix. Oh, Enzo, I have your crucifix. Yes, that's it. Please give it to me. Of course. Yes, this is it. Lord, bless me and keep me safe. Will you leave with me now? Damn it, man, I refuse to leave you here to die. I had raised my voice, but the shock seemed to allow Enzo a moment of clarity. You're right. I can't stay here forever. Let me prepare, James. I will be ready in the morning. Once I have gathered my remaining belongings, after I leave, I will not return. Of course, I will be here tomorrow. Thank you, my friend, for not giving up on me. My friend Enzo was now ready to leave Venice in the morning, and I had met with Roberto and Don Vincenzo. I could either continue to explore the city, or else find a cafe and relax until the evening. I think that's everybody we needed to talk to. Yeah, we spoke to everybody, so I guess advance time to evening. And this is where we are going to stop for today. So, thank you for watching. Bye!